Hello and welcome back dear student in the next lecture of the topic solution. So dear student, in the last lecture we have completed the fourth one colligative property, that is osmotic pressure pi. So after the last lecture here we have completed our four colligative property, as the first one is vapor pressure lowering, that is delta P upon P naught 1. It is also called as the relative lowering of vapor pressure. The second one is boiling point elevation, delta TB. The third one is freezing point depression, delta TF, and the fourth one is osmotic pressure, which is equal to pi. So we have completed these four colligative property, and also we have seen the relation between the molar mass of the solute and each and every one colligative property, because the main application of the colligative property is to determine the accurate molar mass of the used solute when we form a solution. So we have studied these four colligative properties in detail in the last few lectures. In that we have seen the relation between molar mass of the solute and the relative loading of vapor pressure as delta P upon P naught 1, which is equal to W2 M1 divided by M2 W1. The relation between elevation in boiling point and the molar mass of the solute as delta TB, which is equal to Kb W2 divided by M2 W1, where Kb is the molar elevation constant. It is also called as a cryoscopic constant, ebullioscopic constant. Then the third one is delta Tf, which is equal to Kf W2 divided by M2 W1, where M2 is the molar mass of the solute. And if we observe carefully all these colligative properties, that means the relative lowering of vapor pressure and molar mass of the solute, elevation in boiling point and the molar mass of the solute, and the depression in freezing point and the molar mass of the solute, then it is observed that all these three colligative properties, that means these colligative properties, they are inversely proportional to the molar mass of the solute. They are inversely proportional to the molar mass of the solute. And therefore, if we suppose the macromolecules, and therefore for the macromolecules, the relative lowering of vapor pressure, the elevation in boiling point, and the depression in freezing point, all these property is too small to measure. It is too small to measure. And when we consider all these four colligative property, then we use the solute is non-volatile, non-electrolyte. We use the solute is a non-volatile, non-electrolyte, and therefore from these observations of the colligative property and the molar mass of the solute, means from this relation of the colligative property and the molar mass of the solute, it is observed that these three colligative property, and also the fourth one is osmotic pressure, and osmotic pressure pi, which is equal to, as we know, CRT, means which is equal to N2 upon VRT, and as we know, N2 which is equal to W2 upon M2. That means pi is also inversely proportional to the molar mass of the solute. But as we know, osmotic pressure is related with the osmosis, and in that osmosis we use the solutes, and therefore this is the osmosis for the solute particles. Means the osmosis, it is produced due to the solutions which is separated by the solvent molecule in that current layer, and therefore this fourth one property, the molar mass of the solute, means the macromolecules. This colligative property is helpful to measure the molar mass of the solute of the macromolecules. But property, and when we have macromolecules, then all these three properties, the measure is too small, and therefore here we use the solution is non-volatile, non-electrolyte. But for the electrolyte, if we use the electrolyte for the solution, and what are the electrolytes? As we know, electrolytes which dissociate completely into its ions. Electrolytes are the substances which dissociate completely into its ions, and therefore when we have the electrolyte, then but when we use the non-electrolyte solute, then it does not get associate, it does not get dissociate, means it remains as it is in the solution. But when we use the electrolytic solution, then as we know, the electrolytes, they get associate or they get dissociate, and therefore for the electrolytic solutions, due to the association or the dissociation, the number of solute particles it get changes. The number of solute particles it get changes, and therefore the colligative properties are the properties which depends on the number of solute particles, and therefore when we use the electrolytic solutions, then the number of solute particle changes. That means all these three colligative properties, they may be changes for the electrolytic solution. For the non-electrolytic solution, we have the relation between molar mass of the solute and that one colligative property. But non-electrolytes are the substances which does not get associated, does not get dissociated into its ions. For example, urea, glucose, fructose, all these sugar, all these are the non-electrolytic solutes. And when they dissolve in a solvent and form a solution, then it does not get associate, does not get dissociate. It remains as it is. But instead of that, when we use the electrolytic solution for macromolecules, then electrolytes either they get associate or they get dissociate, and therefore when we use the electrolytes as the solutes, then the number of solute particle changes, either they get increases or decreases. For the dissociation, the number of particles are increases. For the association, the number of particles are decreases, and therefore the colligative properties of that electrolytic solutions are also changes. The colligative properties of such electrolytic solutions are also changes, and therefore the relation between colligative properties for the electrolyte and the colligative properties for the non-electrolyte is given by one factor, and that factor is called as Bandt factor. Means the relation between the colligative property for the electrolytes and the colligative property for the non-electrolyte is given by a factor called as a Bandt factor. And as we know here, the colligative properties are directly proportional to n. Colligative properties are directly proportional to n. Means here Cp observed is directly proportional to n observed. Observed for the electrolytes, and for a non-electrolyte we call it as a Cp theoretical, means a colligative property. Theoretical is also directly proportional to n theoretical, because from the definition of a colligative property, colligative properties are the properties of a solution which depends on the number of solute particles. And for a non-electrolyte, means for a theoretical colligative property, the number of solute particles, it does not get changes, and therefore that colligative property of the solution, it remains constant. But for the electrolyte, that means for the observed colligative property, Colligative property observed, it is for electrolytes. But for the electrolytes it get dissociated or it get associated, and therefore the number of particles, solute particle changes for the electrolytes. For example, here if you consider the NaCl. NaCl is an electrolyte dissociated into Na plus Cl minus. If we taking the 0.1 molar NaCl, then it forms 0.1 molar Na plus and 0.1 molar Cl minus. 0.1 molar NaCl which is dissociated into two ions, means one substance or one particle is dissociated into two particles, Na plus and Cl minus, and therefore here the number of particles increases, and therefore that colligative property is also changes, because the colligative property depended on the number of solute particles. That means when NaCl dissolved in the water, it forms the aqueous NaCl, and in the water it dissociated into Na plus and Cl minus, therefore it dissociated into two particles. This is one of the electrolyte. But when we take a non-electrolyte like urea means NH2 double bond NH2. When urea which is dissolved in water, it forms aqueous solution of urea, but here urea it does not get dissociated, remains as it is. Originally if the 0.1 molar urea is present in the solution, then it remains as it is, because it does not get dissociated like NaCl. And therefore here one example is given. For NaCl is dissolved in water, it produces the two ions, Na plus and Cl minus. But whereas if we get sucrose, urea, fructose, then they expected that the colligative property of the 0.1 molar NaCl is twice that of the 0.1 molar sucrose solution. That means if you take a 0.1 molar urea or sucrose or glucose or fructose solution, then it expected that these having a twice colligative property than these, because these get dissociated into the two particles. These are the electrolytes. This is example of an electrolyte, and this is an example of a non-electrolyte. And therefore the relation between colligative properties for the electrolyte and the colligative properties of the non-electrolyte is given by one factor, and that factor is called as the Bantoff factor. And therefore here, if we divide this Cp theoretical to the Cp observed, then here Cp observed upon Cp theoretical, which is equal to here M observed upon M theoretical, and this ratio is which is equal to I, and I is called as here, I means the Bantoff factor. I is called as a Bantoff factor. I use the relation between colligative property observed divided by the colligative property theoretical. That means I is defined as the colligative property for the electrolytic solution to the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution, and therefore I is equal to colligative property for the electrolytic solution to the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution. Colligative property for the electrolytic solution to the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution. So here from this here I observed means for the electrolyte, theoretical means for the non-electrolyte. You have to remember that. And therefore from these here, how we define the I which is equal to, or Cp observed which is equal to I into Cp all. Cp observed upon Cp theoretical, which is equal to I, and therefore Cp observed is equal to theoretically it becomes a multiplied with I. So the vector factor gives the relation between colligative property observed for the electrolytic solution to the colligative property observed for the non-electrolytic solution. And therefore from this we have observed colligative property which is equal to I into theoretical colligative property. Theoretical for non-electrolyte and observed for electrolyte. And therefore from this here and from this colligative property observed, that means here observed colligative property which is equal to I, which is equal to observed colligative property into the I into theoretical colligative property, and that means here observed colligative property, that means delta P upon P naught 1 which is equal to I, and theoretical, that means delta P upon P naught 1 into 0. The theoretical colligative property which is equal to delta P upon P naught 1 into and this is the observed colligative property. Just like this, delta TB which is equal to I into delta TB naught. This is for the delta TB naught is the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution, and delta TB is the colligative property for the electrolytic solution. Just like delta TF which is equal to I delta TF naught, because delta TB naught, delta TF naught, and delta P upon P naught 1 0. These are the theoretical colligative property, that means the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution. That is, this is the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution. So I, which is equal to here in a one sentence, I which is equal to delta P upon P naught 1, delta P upon P naught 1 here. Delta P upon P naught 1, or the lowering of vapor pressure. Let's say that means that the delta P upon delta P naught, which is equal to delta TB divided by delta TB naught, which is equal to delta TF divided by delta TF naught, which is equal to 5 divided by 5. Means I use the relation between observed colligative property and the theoretical colligative property. The theoretical colligative properties are denoted by delta P naught, delta TB naught, which we have studied in this topic solution. That means the colligative properties for the non-electrolytic solutions. So these are the four colligative properties for the non-electrolytic solution, and these are the colligative properties for the electrolytic solution. Therefore, here here delta P upon P naught 1 which is equal to I, here W2 M1 M2 W1, because this is the colligative property, that means this is the theoretical colligative property. This one is the theoretical colligative property. This is the relation between observed colligative property and theoretical colligative property. Observed for the electrolyte and theoretical is for the non-electrolyte. So just like this, that means here we have mean. इथं हे रिलेशन घेऊन दाखवलेले आहे तुम्हाला, म्हणजे कोणाचं रिलेटिव्ह लोअरिंग ऑफ वेपर प्रेशर and the relative lowering of vapor pressure, but this is for the electrolyte and this is for the non-electrolyte. You all just have to write the relation between observed colligative property and theoretical colligative property. That means the observed colligative property which is equal to I into theoretical colligative property. I into theoretical colligative property. ह्या डेल्टा टीबी नॉट ह्या सगळ्यांचे आणि मोलार मास ऑफ द सोल्यूट ह्या सगळ्यांचे रिलेशन्स तुम्ही हे लेक्चर बघितल्यानंतर लिहायचं. लक्षात येते सगळ्यांच्या. सो अप टू दिस लेक्चर हियर वी हॅव कंप्लीटेड द colligative properties for electrolyte. That means there is some deviation for the non-electrolytic solution to the electrolytic solution, and that deviation they are giving by a factor called as a Van 't Hoff factor. So the Van 't Hoff factor gives the relation between observed colligative property, means the colligative property for the electrolytic solution to the colligative property for the non-electrolytic solution of the same concentration. That we have to remain in our mind. Same concentration. Concentration same असताना एक जर इलेक्ट्रोलाइट असेल आणि एक जर नॉन इलेक्ट्रोलाइट असेल तर त्या दोघांमध्ये रिलेशन इट इज गिवन बाय द फॅक्टर कॉल्ड एज अ Van 't Hoff factor. So in this today's lecture we will stop here. We will meet in the next lecture. Till then